Hello, hello, welcome everyone. This is our very first community day for this year. We are very, very excited because now we're back in our live session. We're going to share knowledge, experience, passion in tech. But at the same time, this is extra special because it's our anniversary. So I'm Michelle. I'm one of the founders of ulap.org, and I'm with.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marilag. I'm also one of the founders of ulap.org. I'm so happy to be here. It's a special day for everyone. And I also really want to take this opportunity to thank our live audience for today, our viewers. Thank you for joining us and thank you for supporting ulap.org and our tech upskilling skills. So, Mitch, I'm super
Yeah,
excited.
it's very, very nice to be back again to our live sessions, and we really prepared a lot. And of course, I just want to call our community lead for today, Hazel. Hi, Hazel, our community
Hi, Ate
manager.
Michelle. Hi, Ate Marilag. Hello, community. Welcome. I hope you'll enjoy and learn a lot in today's event.
Thank you very much, Hazel, for organizing this and with all our community volunteers. Maraming maraming salamat. We would also like to thank Reniel and Mariel for always supporting for the preparations. Thank you so, so much. Thanks, Hazel. Bye.
Hi, Hazel. Bye.
So, what's up for today?
We have a lot to offer you today. So I'm very excited to share to you our program for today. So first, we will have our short anniversary celebration when Mitch and I will share to you our journey since we started ulap.org a year ago. So it's been a very humbling and also fulfilling and also a bit emotional journey for us. So hope you can stay with us um, the whole day. Oh no, not the whole day, just 1.5 hours. So and then the next we will also talk about and share with you some careers and trends in cloud computing. So Mitch is going to talk about the different trends and I will also go through some of the career paths that would be very interesting for you if you're looking to grow your career in cloud. And then we also invited some of our interns and mentors and of course our scholars to share their cloud certification journey. So we have Alibaba's certification journey at 6:30 to 6:50 in the evening in Philippine time, and that would be with Kevin Mallari and Theron Bueno, our ulap.org scholars. And then we have AWS certification journey, which is from 6:50, and we invited one of our interns and volunteers, Reniel de Lumban, and he will talk about his journey getting certified in AWS. And for Azure certification journey from 7:10, we have Frederick Angelo Peraman, and he's also one of our ulap.org mentors. And then we will have our closing together with yours truly and Michelle.
Very, very exciting. And of course, our highlight for today is our anniversary. Thank you so much for all your support. It's our first anniversary. Actually, our journey has been very, very exciting for the past year. We actually founded the organization here in Denmark as a nonprofit last October 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. And then we had some bravery to finally launch it March 2021 in the International Women's Day, and then finally launched our first Cloud Career Kickstarter program last September. And of course, for 2022, we have so much exciting things ahead for our scholarship, for events, and partnership with different organizations. And we are very happy to share that to you this year. But of course, we cannot do that without the help of the people and our sponsors and organizations. So we would like to say thank you to Alibaba, The Wise, Studio Hero, CloudSwift, and Luna Academy. Last year, Microsoft and AWS has been supporting us with our community days events. And we have also organizations Marilag to thank.
Yeah, we have a lot of organization partners. So we have Zonta Club of Makati and AWS User Group. We have Azure User Group Manila. And of course, we have been in constant communication and collaboration with the Philippine Embassy in Denmark. They have been helping us a lot here. And we work also with the GDG Cloud Manila. That's the Google group and educacion.ph. And we also have PH Tech Community and Azure User Group, Mozilla, 2 Cents, and some of our academic partners, our Camarines Polytechnic, and also Subaraya. And ulap.org was featured also in different media channels. So we want to really take this opportunity to thank Sub Selfie and GMA News and Manila Bulletin and bobreyes.com. Thank you for all your support and continued partnership.
And of course, the first year has gone super duper fast, and also the blessings and help from different people also was very, very. It's too much, and we didn't really expect it. So perhaps Marilag, you can share some of those.
Yeah, so whenever I look at this slide, I feel overwhelmed. I can't believe that we were able to pull this off, Mitch. But of course, we didn't do it alone. So it's really our volunteers and our partners that made it all possible, and then of course our scholars. So last year, we grew up to 230 members in our Meetup.com group, and we have, of course, welcomed our 10 wonderful scholars, very, very passionate, hardworking young people who are still working hard as of the moment, together with their theses and with their schoolworks and trying to learn and upskill in cloud and get certified. So I want to thank them about that. And then we also have, of course, our interns who've been super helpful throughout their internship, like helping us with all the marketing materials, with our website, with our event planning, and even volunteering as a speaker for us. So thank you to the interns. And then we have grown to up to 25 active community leaders or leaders. These are our volunteers and tech leads and community organizers, and of course, our wonderful mentors. So thank you. Mitch, how about our events?
Yeah, it was amazing. We have partnered with different organizations from profit, for profit, or government, non government organizations, schools, and different tech communities, not just in the Philippines, but also in Southeast Asia and here in Europe. So we have co organized, and some of them we have participated as speakers, and it's like 20 plus tech events that we have had supported. And it was really, really amazing. And thanks for all the members and volunteers of ulap.org for always, availability, for this event. So we are very grateful for that. And of course for inviting us to be part of your event for our partners. And we actually organized community days also last year, and that was 7. We have ulap.org leads who has worked hard for those, like Microsoft, Azure, Alibaba, career talks, launching our scholars. It was really, really amazing. And you can follow our YouTube channel, ulap.org, and you can see our recordings of those sessions. And we have given 2 instructor-led professional trainings for our volunteers, mentors, and scholars. And it's Alibaba ACA training and AWS practitioner. And our volunteers, our scholars are getting certified now. So we're really, really proud of their upskilling journey. Yeah, I think that's it. We have so much to share, but we just chose some of those highlights that we have for this year. And to sum it up, our volunteer Mariel did really a short video of how ULAP journey uh, was done for the whole year. I don't know. I'm still really very overwhelmed because yeah, it's just a year. But whenever I watch this video, I get very emotional, like Marilag. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna share it to you guys.
ULAP is a for-purpose, non-stock, nonprofit organization. For now, our target are the underrepresented STEM students in the Philippines who want to really kickstart a career in cloud and data and technology. But for our vision, in the long term, what we really want is an inclusive tech community with equal opportunity for all.
Our mission is actually to motivate, prepare, and guide our young IT aspirants. One of the things that is very important to our values is that we wanted to inculcate within our scholars that, whatever we do is a mission for the community.
Welcome to the very first community event for ulap.org.
What is the introduction of cloud computing? Everyone is very curious, what is cloud computing? Why is it out there? Why people hire a lot with cloud skills?
We're more than happy to welcome you all in our second Community Day event with ulap.org focusing on Amazon Web Services.
Welcome in our third Community Day event with ulap.org focusing Alibaba Cloud.
And we are welcoming you to our third Community Day at ulap.org, and it's all about Microsoft Azure.
We are very, very happy to welcome you for today. Me and Marilag here at ulap.org, announcement of our first STEM Scholars for the Cloud Career Kickstarter program.
Wow, it's amazing. I really like that short clip. Thank you, Marielle, for creating it. Thank you so much to everyone who has been supporting us. It's the people more than all the events we organize. It's the people whom we touched and share knowledge with. It's the people whom we wanted to motivate to become better version of themselves in the tech world. And we are really very grateful for this.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was very touching. I'm speechless. Sorry, you said it well, Mitch.
Yeah, I think the whole past slide is just saying thank you, so we will never get tired of that. So we can go to more serious matter, which is our talk about the careers and trends. I'll start with the trends of cloud computing, why we have been doing this, some few numbers and statistics, and why companies are needing cloud computing infrastructures and skills and so on, followed by Marilag talking about the careers in the cloud computing space. So let's start with the state of cloud computing. I'm going to discuss a little bit about the cloud market. What are the cloud strategies of organizations? We're going to share some studies. And actually, multi-cloud is a thing. It's very, very famous now in different organizations to have a strategy. And what are the decision drivers why organizations choose to have a multi-cloud infrastructure? And how multi-cloud infrastructure is being used? I guess it's not perfect, but it's the chosen strategy. And then, of course, top cloud initiatives for 2022. And what are those challenges when it comes to the cloud computing space? So we can start with the cloud market. As you can see, there are a lot of cloud computing vendors, of course, but the big four hyperscaler revenue surpasses actually $220 billion. And that's a massive amount of investments, infrastructures, and capitals that is being shared and being needed in different organizations in different industries. And that's also a very big prediction for 2022. And this is a study by Wikibon February 2022, based on company earning report and their ETR survey data and the 2022 predictions. But with all these big revenues and estimates and capitals and investments on the cloud computing, why do organizations choose cloud computing? First and foremost is, of course, the flexibility, right? Users wanted to scale services that fits their need. They wanted to customize applications and access the cloud services from anywhere with if you have an internet connectivity, right? Why not have a flexible infrastructure that is available, that is not prone for disaster issues, and you can recover your infrastructure and applications as soon as possible, right? And that's also the efficiency, wherein enterprise users can get applications to the market very, very quickly. We don't like applications that lags. We don't like application that doesn't really perform its action. We wanted the availability and efficiency of whatever we uses. And there's so much underlying infrastructure and needs that cloud computing is actually catering. And if you're actually very curious what is cloud computing itself, we have introduction to cloud computing video from last year presented by Marilag that gives really a basic information why cloud computing is existing and why it's needed. And then the third one is the strategic value of what cloud computing gives, because enterprises nowadays wanted to have a competitive advantage when it comes to innovation and making the technology available. And we cannot really push through innovations such as AI, machine learning, virtual reality, blockchain, if the infrastructure is actually not supporting those strategic and transformative initiatives. So it's really very, very important. And what we've noticed is that I'm referring to Flexera State of Cloud report in 2022, and they tried to look for different technical and business professionals within the cloud computing space in a survey. And they have given their insights into the adoption of cloud infrastructure and services. And Flexera itself is a SaaS IT management solution provider, and they provide a lot of information when it comes to transformational work in this field. And as you can see here, is that 89% is leaning towards multi-cloud approach when it comes to the cloud implementation. It's very rarely that you can see organizations going to a single private cloud or a single public cloud. They're going to a multi-cloud. But let's define those terminologies first. What is public cloud? Public cloud is like a very, very known cloud computing terminologies, which is defined as a computing service offered by a third-party provider over the public internet, making it available to anyone who wants to use this service or purchase them. Some of them are free, and of course, some of them you have to pay. Um, allowing allowing a public cloud service for an organization makes the customer pay the usage for the CPU cycle, the storage, the bandwidth, so that they can consume this infrastructure. Example of that are, of course, Microsoft Azure, AWS, Alibaba, Google Cloud, and these are like the top public cloud providers. While private cloud is like defined as more kind of like an internal cloud for a corporate. It's like a cloud computing environment which all the hardware and software resources are only dedicated to or exclusively to only one organization or single customer. And a lot are still leaning towards this because, of course, on the privacy, security, and they would love to only have their infrastructure deployed in their own on-premise setup. So then hybrid cloud is a combination of public and private cloud, which organization tries to buy both public and private, and we call it specifically hybrid. But multi-cloud can contain multiple private clouds. Multi-cloud can contain multiple private clouds, or multi-cloud can contain public and private, which is called hybrid. So yeah, as organization leans toward more multi-cloud, there are also some challenges and of course a lot of benefits. And what are those benefits of a multi-cloud um, decisions, or the decision drivers for choosing a multi-cloud infrastructure? First is the sourcing. There's really an increased desire to increase agility and avoid this vendor lock-in, right? So if you have your cloud infrastructure from only one vendor and then something happened to their service, you are not really very sure if um, if the the infrastructure, the services and applications you have will be safe. Though a lot of public clouds and providers really make sure that their solutions are really working properly. But to have multiple vendors for your sourcing strategy, and you avoid the vendor lock-in and try to explore what are the benefits in each of the vendors' capabilities. That's very, very strategic. And it looks like this is the reason why those organizations that needed a cloud infrastructure is leaning towards it. Second is architecture. It's very known that organizations wanted to lean towards more kind of like a modular style of infrastructure, and multi-cloud can provide that. And third and foremost is the governance. Whenever you can ensure that you have an operational control, enterprises wants to unify your administration, your monitoring, your IT systems. If you can have it in a multi-cloud infrastructure, that's a very good driver to keep your business alive. So that's are some decision drivers that Gartner shared based on their studies. And of course, the use of multi-cloud is of course not perfect. It's an ongoing work in different organizations. And also, of course, according to Flexera, there's still a lot of challenges. Like, okay, there's a lot of apps siloed in different clouds. Imagine if you have to manage different multi-cloud um, services, right? And you will be amazed. There's a lot of organizations that is really pushing towards multi-cloud and hybrid cloud approach, and they're really doing well. And then the disaster recovery and failover between clouds. How do you manage that? And how to make sure that these things are in you keep your sight in it. And then of course different data integrations of between clouds that you have. And one of the organization that actually pushes towards cloud native approach is the Linux Foundation, and their cloud native organization. And one of the flagship product is the Kubernetes, and the amount of career opportunities within that Kubernetes space is also just getting higher and higher. So yeah, that are some of the tools that you have to look up. Um, Top cloud initiatives in 2022, and I'm just going to highlight three of them, is that it's very apparent that organizations are moving to the cloud computing infrastructure, and everyone wanted to make sure that they optimize their spending, because of course it takes money and cost to invest for your infrastructure, like, right? How can you optimize those spending, make your systems be monitored the best way possible, and of course save money? And of course, initiative is still ongoing. It has been happening in the past year, especially COVID, migrating different workloads to cloud from on-premise, and having involved the software as a service also as a solution. So keep an eye on those initiatives. And if you're already working on that, you're really into the trend right now in the cloud computing space. And very quickly on the challenges, of course, security has always been what organization thinks as a challenge for cloud computing. One of the study that was done by Confluera is that when they did a survey, 63% of the organization, or like the people who have they've done the survey with, identified that, identified that cyber threats is something that that worries them when it comes to building this strategy in the cloud. Second is the lack of resources and expertise. Marilag will share more on that on the next topic. And then, of course, the third and last, the managing the cloud spend and making sure you optimize the use of the infrastructure, and that you also save and not just spend a lot of investment in this. So that ends my presentation, and I'm gonna turn it over to Marilag and her presentation on the careers in cloud computing.
Thank you so much, Mitch. And I really like looking at the numbers because it really proves that we need to do something to bridge the gap, especially the skill gap when it comes to cloud computing. So I just want to go through some topics here about careers in tech. So I'd like to present the top tech careers in cloud in 2022 and the cloud jobs that are shortest in supply. Mitch mentioned earlier some of the challenges in cloud computing space that include security and resources and managing costs. So there's a little bit about it's related also with the jobs that are lacking at the moment. So I'm also going to talk about some tips in getting to where you want to be when it comes to your career, so your cloud learning path, and what are the essential cloud skills that you need to develop. And for me, this is probably the most important. What are some of the valuable qualities, not necessarily technical, that you need in order to be successful in cloud space? So as a tech entrepreneur myself, I have a very good insight on the experience on looking for talented individuals. And there's really what I would say a challenge for a lot of enterprises all over the world right now, big or small, in trying to find these talents. But the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of us who are passionate and interested to build a career in cloud. We just need a bit more support to upskill and to train and to get hands-on experience. So what are the top tech careers in cloud for 2022? Well, there are many careers within cloud computing, and not all of them necessarily have to be technical, because you still need to run an organization and a whole industry. And in fact, a lot of enterprises today that are not necessarily technical in nature, for example, industries that are in manufacturing or media or services, they all want to transition to become a tech company. So they're building their own workforce that can build capabilities on the cloud. So what kind of careers are they looking for, or jobs are they always looking for? So here are some of the very popular ones. So let me start with the cloud architect. So if you want to be a cloud architect, this means that you have to increase your knowledge in your technical knowledge in depth or in breadth. So instead of going very deep in one technical platform or topic, as an architect, you have to learn a lot of the different platforms, for example, multi-cloud platforms, or across the different breadth of technology. So you need to understand the different stacks, front end or back end, or infrastructure and security. So you don't necessarily have to be an expert on everything, but you must be in a skill level where you can understand the trade-offs when you're making decision on which platform to use. But another very important skill for cloud architects is also people and business skill, because as a cloud architect, you're also responsible in sort of finding the right people to implement your architecture, and also to negotiate with the business and with their goals to make sure that you are building and designing a sound solution. Software engineers are also very popular. So software engineers, these are our programmers, our mobile and web and backend API developers, or automation developers, or job developers. They're the ones that are implementing the applications. So they have to be very strong in, of course, programming and testing and optimization. And you can also be a software engineer even if you don't necessarily code all the time. So there are a lot of platforms that allows you to do no code or low code applications and run that on the cloud. As a cloud engineer, so there's a little bit of difference. So people always ask, what's the difference between a cloud engineer or cloud software engineer? Why they're called engineers, all of them? So what I would say is that a lot of companies hire cloud engineers not just to develop applications on the cloud, but also to implement some of this infrastructure in the cloud. You have heard from Mitch earlier that there are different strategies that companies are adapting to get into or to onboard on the cloud. So the cloud engineers, they're the ones that are really executing this, provisioning the resources, fine tuning it, and they're focused on data and in compute and storage and network. So they work hand in hand also with the architect to implement the architecture. And then you also need data specialists, those that understand artificial intelligence and machine learning, those that understands algorithms that so that the machine can help provide solutions that are preventive and predictive in nature. We have also automation engineers. They're the ones responsible for eliminating repetitive tasks when you're building applications on the cloud. So for example, your CI/CD, your deployment, your testing, your configuration that needs to be automated. So these are the automation engineer. Site reliability engineers are the ones who make sure that your application, your site, your cloud infrastructure are according to or delivering according to your service level agreements. So if you want your application to be 99.999% up, so that is also very important. And the same with security engineer, probably one of the most important careers that right now at the moment, because of all the cyber threats and the lack of security personnel. So these are the careers. Just wanted to highlight that as of the moment, there's a shortage in supply in these positions all over the world: cybersecurity, enterprise architecture, technical architecture, and also around analytics. So if you're interested in this career path, now is the time to upskill. And I also want to share with you what I think is essential technical skills that you need to have if you want to get into cloud computing space. So number one is coding, and you don't necessarily have to be the software engineer to be very strong in coding. So like I said, most of the things now that are operated on the cloud use code. So if you want to deploy infrastructure or if you want to deploy automation, you have to do infrastructure as code or policy as code. So everything is written in code. Everything that you want to execute on the cloud is written in code. So coding is kind of essential. So if you're just starting now, I suggest go on bootcamp, build your own personal projects so that you can enhance your coding skills. Security, understanding all the security principles, the zero trust principles. This is also very exciting. And skills for data processing, understanding how to do data modeling, transferring data, or storing and analyzing data. UI/UX design is also really important. The ability to understand what is the requirement and the needs of your users, and then translating that into a technical product that users will love. And lastly, it's also still very essential that you have a deep understanding of compute and network principles. These are the things that you learned in school are still valid right now. How computers work, how memory and input output works, how network protocols work. So it's essential that you have these technical skills. And again, it depends on the career that you want to take. You will probably have to encounter all this skills in your career, whether you're a software engineer or an automation engineer or an architect or even an SRE. So you will have this, you will need these skills in your day-to-day work life. So how do you then gain these skills? That's a question from a lot of professionals and also fresh grads that are just starting now. So with all these skills that I need to acquire and with all the information that I need to learn, and we know the nature of technology is always changing, how do we actually cope up? So this is a learning pyramid that is very popular. I did not invent this pyramid, but it shows you, an idea of how we retain information when we're learning. So they say that 10% of what you read, you will remember, and 20% of what you see and hear, you will remember. About 30% that has been demonstrated and that you have discussed with someone. So what you have maybe written and demonstrated or discussed with someone else, you will remember a lot of those. And lastly, the two last, if you practice or you do something, or even better, if you teach this to others, you will remember most of it. So what I'm illustrating here is that if you're still you're still starting in your career, perhaps you're spending most of your time attending lectures or reading or watching videos. That's completely fine. And as soon as you progress a little bit and then gain more experience, you're able to demonstrate your skills, you're able to engage in discussions with your colleagues and with the community. And then towards the more experience, after several maybe years, you start you start teaching others or mentoring others and sharing your knowledge. But what I think is that you don't really have to focus on where you are at the moment in your career path. Don't let anybody tell you that because you're a beginner you can't, do more or start teaching someone else, or just because you're already a senior that you're gonna stop watching lectures or reading books. Quite the opposite. So if you really want to progress in a tech career, I suggest that you do all these things in the pyramid. And if you're a senior, have the curiosity and agility of a beginner. And if you're a beginner, think yourself as a senior as well, every now and then, to gain confidence. And lastly, I want to share what are really the most valuable qualities that we need to have aside from our technical skills. In my experience in the industry, in our company, with our customers, these are the skills that people maybe don't talk about a lot in tech, but are actually really valuable. So problem solving skills and being very analytical is really, really important. This, your intention to solve something together is something that is remarkable when you're working in tech and when you're working with a team. And also communications is very, very important. So you can't just be sitting in front of your computer talking to yourself or talking to the screen, because cloud engineering or tech careers are all about teamwork and communications. And lastly, social skills. And I don't mean just, posting your videos on social media or going to parties. What I mean with your social skills is also your social responsibility skills, like understanding your purpose and what you're doing with, responsible tech is also really important, because technology has a really, really big impact in our society. They say that we can solve most of our current problems in society right now, including poverty and medical problems and climate change, using technology. So your social awareness is really important. So these are the skills that you need if you want to really build your career in tech and in cloud. I hope you learned something from that.
Wow,
So I think,
that's amazing.
thank you.
That's amazing, Marilag. Thank you very much. I learned a lot from your slide.
Likewise. Thank you. So I think we can move on to our next speaker for today. And Theron is a third-year student of BS Computer Engineering from Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. And he's also a passionate tech enthusiast, and he loves innovation. So currently, he's also exploring cloud computing, and he's super fascinated in multi-cloud. So Theron is also one of our scholars. So let's welcome Theron. Let's watch his clip about Alibaba certification journey.
Hello everyone, I'm Adrianne Bueno. I am Trix Alibaba Cloud Certified, and my Alibaba Cloud certification journey started when I saw this Facebook post. It's an online contest organized by Alibaba Cloud in 2021. Basically, I just need to pass the exam and have a chance to get a new icon. It sounded like a fair deal to me, so I did the most flexible thing I could. Even though the exam was just 2 days out, on the 27th, I was very optimistic about it. And yeah, that's how I got my first Alibaba Cloud certificate and my new iPhone. No, that didn't happen. Kasi kung nakuha ko yun, yung regard mirror selfie sana yung picture dito. So kung isipin nyo for a moment, ang sa exam lang, may bagong ko na. Perhaps hindi gumagana yung manifestation sa raffles. Well, in September, I got an email from ulap.org, but I was one of the 10 scholars. They immediately provided us with access to Luna Academy and Alibaba Cloud Academy, which means we can now start our self-paced journey in studying cloud computing. In November, Alibaba Cloud offered a unique opportunity to those who scored above 80 in the exam last August to take the ACP Cloud Computing Certification exam for free. However, this event coincided with our midterm exams in school, and I couldn't find the time to attend this training. Luckily, instructor-led training was held in partnership with ULAP. It's a two-day virtual event exclusive to scholars and community members. The instructor was really good. His name is Pablo Quick. If you ever got an instructor, it's really impressive. He did the regular Alibaba training. He would go through his presentation and he would actually show us real examples of the services being used. Which is great because we got to see those services in action. The ACA exam has more scenario-based questions than the ACA. So I took good notes, not just the product names, but also their practical use cases. We were also given credits to do hands-on experiments on LabX Cloud Lab. So after the training, I spent some time working on doing those lab works. So yeah, that's how I got my ACP, Alibaba Cloud Professional Certificate. I still have one exam voucher that came with the training, and that's what I used for my ACA developer exam. This is the most stressful exam for me out of the three. I first planned to take it by January, but I had the time to study during our short semester break in February. After our final exam, I was like, you know what? Schedule this exam immediately. This is long overdue. I want to get out of it. So yeah, that's what I did. 3 days before the exam, I received a confirmation email, but they gave me the wrong exam. So they gave me the exam code for cloud computing again, not for ACA developer. I usually don't freak out, but I did freak out this time. I was like, OMG Lord, sign review ako, tagal na ito. So I emailed their support team, kaso walang reply. Buti na lang, I also told Miss Hazel about it. Sabi niya, mag-reply daw ako sa email niya directly, kahit nakalagay mismo dun sa email, don't reply to this email. So ayun, after a few hours, they sent me a new exam code and I was able to take the exam as planned. And one of my preparations for that exam is completing the supplementary course from Coursera. So yeah, that's my Alibaba Cloud certification journey in a nutshell. 3 professional certifications in a span of 6 months. Now let's talk about effective study techniques I found helpful in preparing for these certifications. The first thing you have to do is read the exam syllabus. For example, 30% of the questions on ACA Cloud Computing are about ECS instances, followed by server load balancing. It's not a bad idea to focus on studying this since majority ng exam is about mga services na to. Also, decide how much you will allot for each question. Usually, exams must be completed within 90 minutes. And second, hands-on learning. The theory is essential, but it is by doing, but we can put that theory into action. Many services in Alibaba Cloud can be accessed for free, especially if you're a student. Use your university email when signing up to gain access to exclusive student benefits. I also used my LabX credits in preparation for ACP Cloud Computing and ACA developer exams. For reviewing, I recommend Anki. It's a program that uses spaced repetition, a technique from cognitive science that enables you to memorize and in a very limited amount of time. I use add-ons like Image Occlusion Enhance to create cards that hide parts of an image. Med students use it to memorize human anatomy. The most effective way to remember a piece of information if you're exposed to it at the moment of programming. Basically, Anki automates spaced repetition. This makes for an incredibly efficient and helpful memorization tool. And last but not the least, rest. Take breaks. Growth happens during rest. There's a reason we spend around one third of our day sleeping, actually one third of our life sleeping. And this is my last slide. We all know that the tech industry is constantly changing and evolving. Still keeping up is a full-time job, and that's why IT certifications are so necessary. I know I skipped a lot of things, but this certification journey made me more competent, but also enabled me to meet incredible people and build relationships I otherwise won't have. And all of this wouldn't be possible without the help of everyone at pull-up.org. Thanks all to Ms. Angel for the reminders and for constantly following up. To my mentor, Sir Jai, of course, Miss Michelle and Miss Marilag. Thank you all.
Wow, that's amazing. Theron is really, really inspiring me to more upskill
He
in
is,
my
and
endeavors.
actually, with the Anki, I learned something. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, definitely. And we have still one more scholar sharing his um, experience with the Alibaba certification.
Yeah, let me introduce you to Kevin. So Kevin is a fourth-year computer engineering student from Ateneo de Manila University. He's also one of our scholars, and he's very proficient in front-end development and intermediate in back-end development. And in addition, he's also studying different cloud services, which helps him in his developer journey. So let's watch Kevin's video.
Hi, good day everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I am Kevin Mallari, one of ulap.org's lucky scholars that have been receiving professional training and mentorship. I recently passed the Alibaba Cloud Associate, or ACA for Cloud Computing certification, last January. But before talking about my certification journey, I would just like to give my utmost gratitude to the whole ulap.org team who has worked hard to make this event happen. I would also like to thank them for this opportunity to share my experience of being certified as an Alibaba Cloud Associate. So, honestly, initially, I wasn't that familiar with Alibaba Cloud. I was only familiar with the big three cloud providers, namely Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. However, when I was introduced to Alibaba Cloud, it intrigued me, mainly because this is apparently the platform that holds the most market share among all cloud services in China. It has around 40% of the market share of the cloud services there. But beyond this fact, I also learned that they have a data center, or what's also known as an availability zone here in the Philippines. The nearest availability zones from other countries, from other cloud providers, like the ones I previously mentioned, are usually in Hong Kong or in Singapore. But because Alibaba Cloud has an availability zone here in the Philippines, I believe that this could be impactful for local businesses and projects because Alibaba Cloud is able to provide a low latency connection. And so that's how my Alibaba Cloud journey began. With the help of Alibaba Cloud, ulap.org organized a bootcamp wherein an instructor from Alibaba Cloud taught us everything we needed to know in order to certify. It was a 2-session bootcamp wherein each session lasted about 3 hours each, and it was held in the span of 2 days. I have to be honest, the sessions were draining because of the amount of information that was given to us. Good thing I was taking notes the whole time, so somehow I could maintain my focus, and at the same time, because of those notes, I was able to go back to specific discussions when I had to review for the actual exam. So after attending the bootcamp, in preparation for the ACA for Computing certification, my fellow scholars and I received various learning materials to learn about the cloud in general, and more specifically, Alibaba Cloud, with the help of course, ulap.org. Honestly, we couldn't ask for better learning materials. The ones we received were top notch. We were given access to modules from two sites specifically. The first one is Luna Academy, and the second one is directly from is directly from Alibaba Cloud Academy. I went through all the modules for both the websites, and it took me around a week and a half to finish, studying about 1 hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours per day. I actually finished everything within 1 week, but I wanted to study a bit more to truly master the topics that I studied. Within the modules, there are practice questions that we can do in preparation for the real exam. This was extremely useful since it simulated how the real exam would be. And beyond the resources that ulap.org gave us, I also tried to look for more practice exams on the internet since I really wanted to pass the certification. So also, there are demonstration videos in the modules provided to us. I took the opportunity to open my Alibaba Cloud Console and follow along the demos so that I can be more familiar with the interface. Furthermore, there are a lot of information that can be gathered from these demos that weren't necessarily discussed during the lectures. And by following the demos, I somehow got hands-on experience in using the Alibaba Cloud platform. I think that's about it for my experience in preparing for the certification exam. With these being said, my two main takeaways from my experience are: firstly, make sure you have enough time to study. I don't believe that it would be easy to cram all of the information in a short amount of time. So just make sure that you plan ahead and that you have enough time to study and master everything. How I personally did this was I looked at the modules that I needed to study, and then I made an estimate on how long I think it would take me to finish studying everything. And then I scheduled my exam accordingly. Number two, exhaust all resources possible. As I've said previously, I studied all the modules that I had to, and I also took sample exams that the websites provided. And even after that, I searched for even more exams to practice on. I wanted to make sure that I was as prepared as possible before the exam. I even tried to follow the demos provided in the modules to make myself more familiar with the platform. And although I passed the exam, if I were to do something else differently, I would have gone beyond just following the demos and actually tried to use the products that Alibaba Cloud had. I could have made some simple projects and possibly utilized some of the resources that Alibaba had to offer. This would have given me some real world experience in using the cloud platform. That's about it for my presentation. I hope everyone enjoyed and perhaps learned a thing or two about my experience in being cloud certified. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.
That's really amazing. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing your experience. Theron and Kevin, both of you are really amazing. And, you know, having you as our scholar is our an honor. So thanks to the both of you for inspiring us.
Very proud of them. I'm very proud of them. I'm
Yeah.
feeling again very emotional seeing our scholars do this.
Yeah, so of course we will not be able to do all of this without the help of the Alibaba team itself. Thank you very much, Alibaba Academy team, for all the help and support, and for the training that we have co-organized. So for now, we're just gonna share some couple of videos about Alibaba Cloud.
Say hello to Alibaba Cloud's newest cloud region in the Philippines. Start your cloud journey with the new Philippine Data Center.
Get ready for a better cloud experience. The first cloud region in the Philippines is here. Alibaba Cloud, offering technology, expertise, and local support. Enjoy lower latency at a lower cost and faster performance. We are building a robust partner ecosystem and bringing in global best practices. Our mission is to make it easy to do business anywhere. Start your cloud journey with Alibaba Cloud's new Philippine Data Center. Visit ph.alibabacloud.com.
This is the upcoming event of the Alibaba Cloud team on March 31. Don't forget to join. You can visit their website or follow them in LinkedIn and in their social media. So, very interesting event. We can proceed now to our next speaker, which is Reniel. We're very, very proud of this ulap.org intern and has been a very, very amazing community lead for our organization. A little bit of introduction about him. He is our previous intern, and he recently just became a certified cloud practitioner in AWS. He's currently a student of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, taking up Bachelor of Science in Engineering, and his interest is computer programming and cloud computing itself. We're just gonna call Reniel in the here. Hi, Reniel.
Hello everyone. Hello Ate Michelle and Ate Marilag.
Hi.
Hi.
See you.
Actually, this is the first time that I will be a speaker in this event. So I'm kind of excited.
Wow, that's very nice to know. You have led some of our events last year, and now you're speaking in front of everyone. Looking forward for your presentation. So bye for now.
So first of all, thank you everyone for joining us this community day. It's been a pleasure to be your speaker, to be one of your speakers this day. So yeah, so we're gonna start Amazon Web Services Certified Cloud Practitioner Journey. So a bit of introduction about myself. So hello, I'm Reniel. I'm an AWS certified cloud practitioner, and I have three words. Basically it's five. So computer engineering, cloud computing, and technology. I think those words describes me. And so cloud computing, I will say that I have a fundamental understanding of the AWS cloud. Then computer engineering because I'm taking Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering at Polytechnic University of the Philippines. So yeah, so we begin and explore cloud computing, know the preparation and tips on how to get AWS certified. So yeah, so my talk will be focusing on three parts: a short information about AWS or Amazon Web Services, and certification preparations. What did I do to be certified? What are the things that I have studied and such? And last is the tips that I think it can be helpful for you guys if you wanted to be a certified cloud practitioner just like me. So yeah. Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services provides a highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure platform in the cloud that powers hundreds of thousands of businesses in 190 countries around the world. With data center locations in the US, Europe, Singapore, and Japan, customers across all industries taking advantage of its low-cost, elastic, open, flexible, secure platform. So basically, in short words, AWS is a cloud provider that provides people and businesses their cloud computing needs. So what is AWS certified cloud practitioner? So in AWS, we have this just like a hierarchy of certifications. Then there is this AWS CCP, so certified cloud practitioner. This credential helps organizations identify, develop talent, with critical knowledge related to implement cloud initiatives. Earning AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner validates cloud fluency and foundational AWS knowledge. So that's it. So we're gonna go to the certification preparation. So what did I do? So what to expect when you wanted to certified in AWS. So I will put this into three subtopics. The before, hashtag learn the cloud, know about AWS user group, Philippine study group, AWS skill builder, and more. And next is certify, hashtag examination, know when and where you can take certification exam, familiarize the exam type. Then after, so what do you expect in after getting certified as a certified cloud practitioner? So here, so I just want to say that this first part, AWS User Group Philippines, we got introduced because of our internship here in ulap.org. Then next is the AWS Skill Builder, which is a fundamental course level, which is online. You can take it for your own self-paced. Then other preparation that I made, so I have this links for you to follow if you wanted to. So yeah, this AWS User Group Philippines. So as Ate Michelle said a while ago, I was an intern here at ulap.org, and that's when my cloud computing journey started. We and me and my fellow interns got introduced to AWS User Group Philippines, which we attend every Sundays. There is a 3-day study group hosted by them. So here we are taught by AWS certified professionals for and here so in my internship we have this schedule, then we have this Sunday which is allotted for us to learn about AWS. So basically it's about the schedule of us in ulap.org. Then when it's Sunday we go to this study group where we learn a lot about AWS cloud. So yeah, with this study group, AWS User Group Philippines provide lectures, laboratory quizzes, and reading materials. So I learned a lot in this study group. So it is like an online class, and after we are given laboratories, we are given quizzes, and those laboratories and quizzes are for our self-paced learning, and we are given a tons of reading materials. So it is like that they like us to pass this certification exam. So next is the AWS skill builder. So this part is the online course that I recommend for you guys that wanted to be AWS certified, who are planning to take AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner specifically. So this is a fundamental online course. This is for individuals who seek an overall understanding of the Amazon Web Services or AWS Cloud, independent of specific technical roles. You will learn about AWS Cloud concepts, AWS services, architecture, pricing, and support to build your AWS Cloud knowledge. This course also helps you to prepare for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. So it is nice there because this course it explains to you AWS Cloud in a layman's term. So even if you're a total beginner, you will understand it. So there are parts where they will give you scenarios like in a coffee shop, what will you do? And there are a lot of metaphors. So they make AWS Cloud related to a real life scenario. So next is other preparations, maximizing resources. So make use of the internet in maximizing study resources. So here I have this YouTube playlist. So this is from Sir Rafi, which is from the AWS User Group Philippines. So I like this playlist because this is the playlist where Sir Rafi and other people, so he make them answer sample quizzes. So it is good because you know how they think, you will know how they eliminate choices, and it is also like you're taking the quiz as well. So when I'm watching those vlogs, I post the video a bit and think for the answer for myself and play to check if my answer is right. So the next is the for exam preparation. I have this how I passed the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam in 3 weeks by Tech with Lucy. So basically, we don't take the exam blindedly. So we must know what to expect when we're there in the exam. So that's why we must know about the questions, the time limits. So I have recommend this also. Then next, certify hashtag examination. So this is where I will talk about booking your appointments, testing centers, and note the date, time, and requirements. Then taking the certification exam itself. Yeah. So booking an appointment. From your AWS certification account, you schedule your exam with either of these testing vendors, Pearson VUE or PSI. So for me, I chose Person View, which I think it's great. I have a nice experience at their testing center. After scheduling your exam appointment, carefully review your exam confirmation email from your selected testing vendor. This email contains pertinent details on the relevant policies and terms for your exam appointment. So yeah, so I have this 4 steps. So basically, it is not only 4 steps. I just highlighted those things that I want you to consider. So yeah, creating AWS certification account, then choose your testing option. It's either online or you will go to the testing centers. In my case, I went to the testing centers, testing center, and I find a testing center which is near for me so that I can't be late. I won't be late when I take the exam. Then there is the payment method. So you have to pay for the exam before the confirmation that you booked it. So the payment is alongside with my internship here in ulap.org. So yeah, big thanks to ulap.org. So here, testing center, arrive early. So as usual, we must arrive early. I think I went to the testing center 30 minutes early. So it's a tall building, and I go to the receptionist, and it takes, I think it's 5 minutes before to confirm my exam that I went to the elevator and enter the testing center itself. So yeah, you must know the ID requirements. So for me, I presented 2 ID requirements and as well as my vaccination card. And keep in mind the testing rules. So when I arrived at the testing center, so they took a picture of me and I fill up a form and etc. And I went to the examination room. So the examination room is just like just like a computer laboratory in schools. So there is a long table with a bunch of computers. Then luckily when I took my exam, I was the only one taking the A examination. Then next, taking the certification exam itself. So passing. So the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam is a pass or fail exam. Your results for the exam are reported as a scale score of 100 to 1000. The minimum passing score is 700. So it has different domains, 4 domains. So it's cloud concepts, which is 26%, then security and compliance, which is 25%, then technology, which is 33%, then the fourth domain is billing and pricing, which is 16%. So a total of 100%. in the exam you have 90 minutes, so you do not see whether what domain are you answering. So my advice is to study all the domains. So next, so this is a short one, and what to expect after the exam. So after I took the exam, I I saw the result at the front at my computer there in the testing center. So it indicates that I passed. So then after a few days, I wait for the final email confirmation from AWS that I passed the exam. Then I passed the exam. I got my digital badge. Then you are going to also have a exam discount for your next certification. And if there is event recognition, AWS certified global community, and AWS certified store. So, and apart from this, we have this certificate. This certificate, it shows the issue date and expiration date. So this certificate is digital. So I just printed it out and bought an frame. Yeah. So now we have finished the preparation. You know how to expect. Then go to the tips. So disclaimer. These tips are for me is I think it's successful. It's successful. It will help you guys, but I'm not 100% sure that you are going to do this and it will be efficient for you. But for me, I think it's good that I will share this also to you also. So study 3 to 5 hours a day. So yeah, be disciplined. Share what I do. Do your thing that you study AWS Cloud. Do your laboratories. Maximize your resources, just like I said a while ago. Yeah. Then understand, not memorize. So because in exam you will be asked by situational problems. So what if you're for example you have a company that needed a EC2 instance, which is a AWS service that can withstand with interruptions. So you will begin to think critically. So what do you need? What services do you need? Because services are kind of similar, so you must know how to use them in a real life situation, not by just thinking of its definition. Next is take a break. So if you think that the 3 hours to 5 hours of studying is exhausting, you might be exhausted. So I don't recommend to study um continuously and do not take a break. I for my experience, I take a break after 1 hour or 15 minutes. So whenever I feel exhausted in learning, because it is important to learn, and we can learn if we are pushing ourselves too hard, so we can enjoy learning. Yeah, that enjoy learning. So it is the process. So the process is that you must enjoy your journey in cloud computing. So it is not always study. You you just need to enjoy. Think be It is like enjoy learning and be disciplined. So don't only study if you feel so, but you must be disciplined enough to know that you need to study and as well as enjoyed it at the same time. So next is claim it. So it is like the um manifesting. So you think positively, you go to the examination center, testing center, thinking that you can pass the exam. So um, I forgot. I've those study resources, guys, is the main study resources that I took. So there are many more. So feel free to search your own study resources and you what do you enjoy and know 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 if the study resource is effective to you because you must enjoy the learning process. So claim it. When I am going to the testing center back then, I always think to myself that I can pass the exam. I confident enough to pass the exam. So guys, so when you're taking the exam, so claim it though. Don't think that you can pass it. Think of only it passing. Think passing. So yeah, that's it then. We have this. Thank you for listening. So feel free to connect with me via LinkedIn and linkedin.com/in/slash Reniel Bryan de Lumban. Then I also have this dev to blog. So you can follow this link. And so this blog is under AWS ASEAN community. So which is also not wouldn't be possible with the help of ULAP because ULAP introduced me to AWS Community ASEAN, which is very nice. There are people who are very welcoming in there. So yeah, if you want to read about the summary of my AWS Cloud journey, so you can follow the link. And yeah, thank you. I'm Reniel Bryan Dalumban, a AWS certified cloud practitioner, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Reniel. It's very inspiring, all your story and what you've been through. And we're very happy with your journey. Actually, from the beginning, when you applied as an intern until now, you've gained so much confidence, and your discipline really is commendable. So, thanks, Reniel.
Thank you, Ate Marilag and Ate Michelle. So it's nice to share my journey here in ulap.org.
Well, it's really nice to listen to you. I learned a lot. I actually took down notes of your tips. I particularly like what you said about claiming it, really thinking positive just before the exam, thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to pass this. So, yeah, I can totally relate. So, thank you for sharing that, Rainiel. So, I'm proud of you, but be more proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Thanks, Reniel. And of course, we would like to say thank you to our partners, the AWS User Group Philippines, Educacion.ph, AWS SIC Lab team for always supporting us and our scholars and trainings and partnerships, co-organizing events. And they have a lot of events this March still. So stay tuned. Please take a photo of this QR code or, follow their social media channels. And then on April, they still have a lot of events. And yeah, I think that's what you should look forward at the AWS User Group Philippines for March and April.
And I'm very happy to introduce our next speaker for today. And very proud of this guy as well. He's also my colleague, and he's also a Microsoft certified Azure developer associate with 8 years of professional experience in developing web based enterprise applications. Well, he's also an aspiring millionaire like me who always seek for growth in every aspect of life. So, welcome, Fred, to our event for today. I'm really so much looking forward.
Hello, hi, Michelle and Marilag. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given. I was quite surprised and proud with these three guys that precedes me. I find their presentation very well planned and executed. Yeah, I'm a little bit shy with the presentation because it's just very simple. But yeah, let's do it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're also busy, and thank you for taking time out of your family to be with us today. So I'm sure we're going to be very inspired with your journey as well.
Yeah, yeah, they're
Thanks,
actually
Fred.
watching. Yeah. All right. Hi, everyone. To those who doesn't know me yet, I am Fred. I am Frederick Angelo Peraman. You can call me Fred. That's my nickname, by the way. Um, uh, Let me just start my presentation with some quote that was excerpted from the book I've been reading, Think and Grow Rich of Napoleon Hill. Here it is. This is some revised edition, but it was originally published last in the 19th century, I believe. And that all that I'm going to tell here now is inspired by this book, because I was clueless until yesterday what I'm going to tell this, because tell here I mean, because it's been 2 years since, or more than 2 years since I got this certification, and I had to throw back myself at that moment. And so this won't be some technical advice or session, rather, because I personally believe that all of those resources can be taught by this specific provider we call Microsoft, and they are all available online, and they can do that more than I can. They can teach that more than I can. Uh, yeah, this is as a hindsight only, um, which I was able to connect also with the things that were taught in that book, and the conscious and subconscious decisions I made in the past with my personal life in general, and that the event of this taking up this Azure certification journey 2 years ago was very good one example of it. So yeah, so let's say you are to climb a mountain. You are some adventurous guy, and so we have this something that we wanted to prepare first before the date of this adventure, right? And we call this starter pack. I call this starter pack as well. That's the same with taking up some certification. So as a starter pack, uh, call this one that starter pack, because I would like to avoid being verbose and focus more on the essential parts. Now there could be more depending on the individual, but these four have to be in the list, I believe. We got this desire, we got faith, preparation, reason. Now this will sound more of philosophical, right? But let me just tell you some backstory of my personal experience. It was January 2018. It was my first job application with my current employer, which is Device, with my boss Marilag. I During that time I already got the job offer, but I declined it at the time, only because I got another offer from an enterprise level company. Because that time I was too curious and excited to be part of such community, because my mindset during the time was um, to be one of a bigger company. And you know sometimes we think of a bigger is better, right? And then 1.5 year fast forward, I felt like I needed to take yet another step to scale up, and being in some huge company makes it way more difficult for me, because I find the space to discover the end-to-end part of development is too narrow, I would say. And then December 2019, I decided to reach out with Device again. um, And then fortunately, I still got the job offer, and then accepted it. And then little did I know, it will be the start of my of a more meaningful career for me. So how does this relate to Azure certification, right? Actually, none, until I got the first challenge I had with them. It was uh it was to get certified with Microsoft, right before I joined their company. Uh, it was some sort of a challenge because I do not have a prior knowledge with Azure cloud, or cloud computing in general. That time, my experience is just building applications, focused more on the back end side, which is C sharp. That time, I you can imagine what I feel that time, what I felt that time. I was surprised. I was also excited, but then more than that, I was confused and anxious. And then, you know, sometimes things happen for a reason, and then I behind all that emotion, I the suddenly the willingness inside me has won to finally get certified once and for all, because I know that, the first approach to achieving some goal is, first you have to like that goal first, right? And then whatever situation that was given to you, you have to be adaptable. You have to adapt in the environment, in the situation, stuffs like that. Then of course, some desire uh wouldn't be enough. You have to have also faith. And in my case, during that time, at first, I was really hesitant. I was really hesitant if can really make it, and somehow I was losing hope during that time. I, the learning curve for me was too steep. But then, going back to my backstory, that was the thing that fuels me up. As I mentioned, it was a decision I made before joining the company, and the motivation of joining some other company was to skill up. And then I realized that it was some higher being, or God, who put me in that situation. So who am I to question that belief in me, right? So yeah, I just trust him. I put my faith and believe that I can do that. I can do it somehow. And then of course, desire and faith are just merely, how do you call this? Some state of mind. You also have to prepare, right? As the saying in the Filipino culture goes, nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. And so my colleague and I, we trained for a whole week with some professional help. It was arranged by our employer as well, Device. It is somewhere in Makati, um, organized by Entity Data Philippines, if I'm not mistaken. And then during those one whole week, the proctor has even given us dumps, these PDF files, and some websites where we can refer to, regarding the exam that we were taking up. We were about to take that time. And then also we also used MS Learning Path, uh, where we can find all the fundamental knowledge regarding Azure certification. And then additionally, our bosses, being generous enough, have given us paid access to a mock exam online. These resources I've mentioned, I will be giving that later. I mean, the links. I will be giving that later in the chat. And then yeah, we spent most my colleagues and I we spent most of our time looking and studying at these resources online and offline. And then there goes the exam proper. During the exam proper, um, yeah, we went to the we went to the entity data PH building. It was some we took the exam in some enclosed room with, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 8 PCs in a single room with two CCTV, of course. So they're sure that we're not cheating. And the exam there was, if I remember it correct, because it was 2 years. It was divided into three parts. First was situational. Um, the exam will give you some situation where you can answer based on your understanding of the subject matter or the topic. And then the next would be the multiple choice. Yeah, that was the easiest part, I think. And then the fill in the blanks is somehow some there was some puzzle, I think, if I can remember. There was some puzzle of this application insights blocks, which I have to fill in. And yeah, it was um I was nervous that time, but then I also was proud of myself taking out the certification, because yeah. And then also you can go back online within the current part. So if you are in the situational part, you are only allowed to go back on the questions within that part. And after that, if you proceed, then you get to lock in that answers you had. Same goes with the other parts. And then the passing score, I believe, was 700. That was 700 passing score. But yeah, we prepared. I have this desire. I have this trust and faith, and so we prepared. But then unfortunately, on the first try, I failed. Yeah, you heard it right. I failed. Well, not just me, but well, some of my colleagues. But then, the feeling of failure sometimes, it just discourages you, right? It disappoints you. And the last ingredient in the starter pack was the one that fuels me up, uh, behind all those discouragement and disappointments. Well, during that time, I thought I needed to take more time to review, or to retake the exam rather. Um, I also then had this time alone discerning the whole experience. And somehow I decided to take and pass the exam on February 14, 2020. That was Valentine's Day, pre-pandemic. Yeah. During that time, my wife isn't here in the Philippines. She's on abroad. So I decided that, yeah, I will give that day to myself and eventually pass the exam. I still have the same desire, the faith, and preparation. But one thing I brought with me was this reason or motivation that I wanted to get it, because being certified also means more opportunities will open up for me, right? And opportunities bring a lot of options to the table. And for me, it also means that I get the freedom to choose what I really wanted. And then the bottom line, I get the best out of what's there is for myself, and especially for my family. And then they took the exam again, and luckily I passed the exam, and with flying colors, of course. The rest is history. Um, Perhaps it was easier the second time because I have now the clue on how the questions were made or how to answer those questions. But to me, this last reason I had was the turning point of it all. It's my big why, and I was definite that I can pass that through this what you call this reason. And then we have these resources. We just pull in this certifications website. Uh, yeah, maybe I'll just share it right in the chat uh, later. But these are the Microsoft Learn. We have this Microsoft Learn website. You can find that online. Dump. These are some topics, these are some previous exams that were made uh, with some contributions from the takers also. And then this mock exam online. This by the way is some paid mock exam online website. You gotta pay subscription to take that. And then also it pays a lot to join a community of people with the same wavelength, right? Because they can lend you help and give you advice based on their personal experiences. um like for example, this Azure user group Manila, this is led by my boss Marilag. You can just ask Azure relevant questions there in the page, and someone most likely can give you the answers. And then there's this Cloud Squad event organized by Microsoft to help aspiring individuals to skill up. It's a good chance for anyone who's planning to take the certification in the next few months, because it will be freshen up for you. And then just visit the link and in the poster and register. And now to end, let's just keep in mind that these certifications, these are just mere papers or digital papers for that matter, or titles without practice. If we really seek for expertise in a particular field, uh, nothing beats, of course, first-hand experience. And because that is what really matters in the real world. um, Forget the fear, forget the fear of failure, forget the fear of making mistakes. These are inevitable, right? And then sometimes setbacks, like what I've experienced, these are what will pull us up to higher grounds in the long run. And yeah, I hope this helps a lot to our aspiring individuals who are planning to take certifications or any goal that they have. Just claim, yeah. Reniel is correct. Just claim that whatever your goal is, for as long as you have the good intentions and the good means, claim that it can be yours eventually, right? Yeah, that's I think pretty much it. um yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Fred. That was really inspiring and very philosophical as well, which is what I really like about you. And have to remember that, yeah, you're right. Certification is one process, and it's, of course, you can find all the resources online to prepare, but it's what's inside you and your experiences also that matters and counts a lot when you're trying to achieve a certain goal. So thank you for sharing and being very open to your experience. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have been very inspired. with that, also on how to address failures, which we all experience. So yeah, thank you for being strong.
And also being a mentor at ulap.org. Super duper thank you for all your help and always saying yes to our speaking invitation. We do really appreciate it
Of
a
course.
lot. Maraming salamat.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank
Salamat,
you,
Fred.
ladies.
Thank you. And now I just wanted to repeat what Fred has also already presented, that I invite you to join our meetup group or our community, which is Azure User Group Manila. So right now we are about, over 1,300 members in Meetup. And we also have a Facebook account. We also on Twitter, and we host regular meetups. Right now it's all virtual, but we're hoping that this year we can maybe host some live events in the Philippines. It depends on the situation out there. But we also host, or we're planning to host the Global Azure conference. We are going to be part of a wider event on Azure on May 6th and 7th, where we're inviting Filipino Azure experts all over the world to join us. So we are going to be posting that on our meetup page, so make sure to catch that. And then I also want to promote some of the activities hosted by Microsoft Philippines, wonderful, and Microsoft Asia Pacific, a wonderful initiative from Microsoft here with Code Without Barriers, really, really helping increase diversity and inclusivity in tech, and especially women in tech. So there is going to be a hackathon on the 5th of April from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock Singapore time. And please remember to register in that link if you didn't catch it. So just go to and search for Code Without Barriers and be part of this amazing, amazing program. And then they also, as Fred mentioned, for Microsoft Philippines, we are part of Cloud Squad. We're really trying to strengthen our presence in tech, in cloud within Philippines. So on the 9th of April from 10 o'clock to 11:30 Philippine time will be the launch of Cloud Squad. So please join us. There is going to be a lot of amazing speakers from Microsoft Philippines. And I also want to promote some of my own activities in the community as part of the Azure MVP community, or the Microsoft Most Valuable Professionals. We're always part of these different upskilling initiatives. So, for example, this one is from Learn Live, where we're going. So you've seen in all our from our speakers that they follow some of these modules online, but that's typically self-paced. But if you want to join a live stream on some of the topics on Microsoft Learn, where you can actually be very interactive and join the speakers and ask questions, make sure to catch this on Learn Live TV. And I'm particularly talking about Cosmos DB, which is a cloud-based database. So make sure to join us. And I am also really, really, really proud to talk about, or to invite you to read one of our amazing volunteers and mentor, Jonah Anderson. She's in the process of writing a book about learning Microsoft Azure. I think this is such an amazing work, and she has released the first couple of chapters, which you can already read from O'Reilly. So please do check that out, and let's support our own mentors. She's a wonderful Filipina tech lead and developer and practitioner and speaker and inspiring on everything. Jonah is everything. So please support.
Thanks, Jonah.
Jonah, I don't know how to introduce you, because you are everything to us. So thank you for inspiring us. So make sure to get her book.
I'm very excited for this. It will be released in 2023, but you can actually get few chapters of it, unedited version. So please do go to the O'Reilly link and search for Learning Microsoft Azure. Wow, that's a good ending of the whole event that we have. We would like to say thank you to our amazing volunteers, scholar, mentors, and all our community leads who actually helped us make this event possible. So, yeah, our first event, our anniversary event, and also everything nice. So,
And it's still very packed with information, right? So we still learn a lot today within those 1.5 or almost 2 hours. So I'm just really inspired also by our students and these young people who can actually fit their schoolwork and their challenges and their circumstances with preparing to be certified. Well, I'm so
that's
proud of everyone.
amazing.
Yeah, thanks
Yes.
for joining, man.
So, thanks again to our partners, our sponsors, our organization partners, and of course, don't forget to follow us in our social media. Till next time, goodbye for now.
Mitch, sorry,
Bye.
before we go, can I request you to play our anniversary video again before we end? Because I
Of
really want.
course.
uh, thank you.
We can do that as a closing. Thanks. Thank you,
Yeah. Thank
everyone.
you, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Bye.
ULAP is a for-purpose, non-stock, non-profit organization. For now, our target are the underrepresented STEM students in the Philippines who want to really kickstart a career in cloud and data and technology. But for our vision, in the long term, what we really want is an inclusive tech community with equal opportunity for all.
Our mission is actually to motivate, prepare, and guide our young IT aspirants. One of the things that is very important to our values is that we wanted to inculcate within our scholars that, whatever we do is a mission for the community.
Welcome to the very first community event for ulap.org.
What is the introduction of cloud computing? Everyone is very curious, what is cloud computing? Why is it out there? Why people hire a lot with cloud skills?
We're more than happy to welcome you all in our second Community Day event with ulap.org focusing on Amazon Web Services.
Welcome in our third Community Day event with ulap.org focusing Alibaba Cloud.
And we are welcoming you to our third Community Day at ulap.org, and it's all about Microsoft Azure.
We are very, very happy to welcome you for today. Me and Marilag here at ulap.org, announcement of our first STEM Scholars for the Cloud Career Kickstarter program.